Hi, welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 116. Elon ended up getting Twitter, and Ford officially started deliveries of the F-150 Lightning. But both GM and Ford is not really growing as an EV company, and Tesla earned more net income than both of them combined. Tesla, on the other hand, is growing in both China, Europe, and the US. Widening software for their upcoming Trinity platform might be in trouble, and Neuralink is seeking engineers with experience in smartwatches and phones. And the Boring Company will now build Elon's Hyperloop. All this and much more to come on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
So Elon did end up getting Twitter for $44 billion. So the world's richest man stands to soon control the world's most influential media platform, not for profits but for the good of society. But something the mainstream media of course do not get. They think it's the other way around, that social media is bad for democracy, but they are probably just afraid as mainstream media lose more and more influence as social media gains more and more influence.
Their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
But of course not all on social media are happy about Twitter becoming Elon Musk's platform. But the Tesla Q already kind of have their own little exclusive world on Twitter anyway, as they block everyone that has a different opinion than themselves. But as Elon wrote, I hope even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means. Yes, exactly. He wants to open source the Twitter platform so others can come with suggestions on how to improve it and make it very transparent about what's going on and how it's controlled. I don't think people quite get how important this could be. As Elon said, having a public platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is extremely important for the future of civilization. This could become something new, maybe even the first step to what would be the social platform for the Mars colony. We know Elon Musk favors a direct democracy where the people vote on issues. And if they can make this platform the most trusted platform in our society, that would be something very huge. Because then it would be pretty easy to see if governments are actually going in the direction that the people actually want. I think this is very interesting and could be a much bigger deal for our society than people might think. Maybe democracy could even depend on whether he succeeds with making Twitter the world's most trusted platform. But we have to wait and see what will come out of all of this. And as Elon also tweeted, he will maybe also buy Coca-Cola and put cocaine back in. Well, that would definitely put some spark back in Coca-Cola's slogan. Real magic is only a sip away. And of course, Slova Popowski quickly made a little animation. That could be the best-selling drink within a year. But Elon did sell about $4.4 billion worth of Tesla stock on Tuesday the 26th, or about 27% of what he sold when he covered his taxes. Probably to finance some of the $44 billion he has to pay for Twitter. But as Elon wrote on Twitter, no further stock sales is planned. So you can all relax now. Elon still holds 168 million Tesla stocks. And speaking of stocks, I know many YouTubers are offering 2 free stocks, but I got the best deal for you. If you live in the US, Hong Kong or China, get 5 free stock valued up to $3,500 each. Yes, you won't get a much better deal than that. Who don't want 5 free stocks, right? Well, you can do that with Moomoo online trading platform if you sign up with my link down below. That will also support the channel. So a win-win for the both of us. If you don't live in the US, Hong Kong or China, you can still download the Moomoo app as I have done, because this is a professional trading platform, so you will have all the information you could possibly want about stocks, drawing tools, communities, news and much more. It is a very impressive and capable app they have made there, so go check that one out. This will not support the show, but you will get a great professional app for keeping an eye on the stock you follow. Enjoy. And Ford has officially started deliveries of their F-150 Lightning. Very exciting. I will leave a link to the whole delivery event if you want to see it. There was a lot of Ford's history and the workers there, but Jim Farley, the CEO, was the one that presented the F-150 Lightning. And Jim did a great job. He was very excited and funny, even threw a few stabs at Tesla and GM.
You, our customers, are going to get capability no other EV truck can ever offer, but for thousands of dollars less than our competitors' trucks, whenever they actually go on sale. You can even charge other EVs for your friends that own Teslas. That wasn't fair, was it? But so what?
All done with a little twinkle in the eyes, so I thought that was very funny. Job well done, Jim. It was of course not an event like Tesla does it. There is quite a big difference, both in the people who are watching, but also the amount of people that are watching. Tesla's Austin delivery event has been seen by more than 2.7 million people. So far, less than 100,000 have seen Ford's delivery event, but Ford wants to change all of that. As Jim said, we plan to challenge Tesla.
We plan to challenge Tesla and all comers to become the top EV maker in the world.
Challenge accepted.
So Ford is not sticking their head in the ground as GM does and proclaim they are the leader. Jim knows Tesla is way out in front and is the one to catch. As he said in the interview this week with Yahoo Finance, Tesla is way out in front.
Tesla's way in front, and I think we can catch them.
But the Mark-E was a good showcase that Ford can actually build great EVs, and I think the F-150 Lightning is going to be even better. But I am still a little worried about the Osborne effect here, as I talked about when Ford revealed the truck, because really, who is going to want the old F-150 or any old Ford polluting, gasoline guzzling pickup truck now, when you can get the F-150 Lightning? Ford themselves have said is the best pickup truck they have ever made and the most powerful. That is quicker than any other pickup truck Ford has ever made. And you will save thousands of dollars in maintenance and service every year, and it can power your tools or your house. But Ford sells about 1 million of these old dinosaurs and have of course said they will continue to invest in the internal combustion engine and still think they will make some ICE engines in 2040. But their new facility here, the Rouge factory, will only be able to produce about 150,000 a year. So there are potentially a lot of customers who will not be able to get a Lightning. So won't they just wait until they can get one and not buy any new old dinosaur in the meantime? Well, time will tell. But they want to make about 600,000 EVs, not just the pickup truck, but combined 600,000 by the end of next year, and is still aiming for 2 million by 2026. So very nice of Jim talking about Tesla being the leader, and they want to challenge Tesla as the leader, but 2 millions in 2026, which is a very ambitious goal for Ford, considering where will they suddenly get all the materials for these extra EVs they suddenly want to build. But still, 2 million is not going to be even close to catching Tesla. In 2026, my bet is that Tesla will have about 6 to 7 million cars. Tesla's lead is simply just unassailable. But it is cool to see Ford really trying to get their EV revolution off the ground at the Ford company, even though they are a little late to the party. Hope they somehow are able to stay alive and come out on the other side standing. Jim Farley even said, just as Elon, he has never been more excited about the company's future. Hope you're right, Jim, because I'm not that optimistic. Jim also said Ford will reveal another EV pickup in the near future that is not an F-150, so that was very exciting. But good luck with the F-150 Lightning Ford. It still looks like a very great electric truck. I'm sure it will do well. Hope you earn just a little bit of money on selling these electric pickups. Because the legacy automakers do need to see some gains from their investment in EVs. Because Tesla is already earning more money on the bottom line than both GM and Ford combined. Because Ford did also just release their Q1 earnings report and their net income was in the red numbers. They lost $3.1 billion in Q1, primarily attributable to market-to-market loss of $5.4 billion on the company's investment in Rivian. But if we remove all of those $5.4 billion in loss in Rivian that Ford blames for their bad quarter, well, Ford would still only have earned about $2.3 billion in net income on $34.5 billion of revenue. But just as with Tesla, right now regulatory credits are a part of their business, so it makes no sense of taking them out of their economy. It is money they earn right now. So the losses Ford had on the Rivian investment is also a part of their business right now, and we have to calculate them in. Just as Ford in Q4 last year took a profits from the Rivian investment. So Ford did lose $3.1 billion. But Ford did also just fire 580 people. But the strange thing was that some of them were from the EV factories, so not only from the ICE business. And they only got 48 hours of notice. That would not be legal in my country, but Ford does have 87,000 employees in the US alone, so 580 is not a big amount, but this might just be the beginning. But GM has also reported their earnings report, and they did have a positive net income of $2.93 billion of revenue of $35.9 billion, where someone like Tesla only had $18.8 billion in revenue, but Tesla's net income was $3.28 billion. So Tesla earned in Q1 about $350 million more than GM did, even though GM's revenue was almost double that of Tesla's and delivered 4 times more cars than Tesla did. So GM was down 3% in net income and Tesla was up 607% year over year. Yeah, the trend are pretty clear here. GM was down 19.5% year over year in deliveries and Tesla was up 68% year over year in deliveries. So Tesla had more net income than both GM and Ford combined in Q1. Even though GM and Ford combined sold 2.5 million vehicles in Q1 and Tesla only sold 310,000, Tesla still earned more money on the bottom line. It doesn't get much clearer than this. And according to Kelley Blue Book, Americans bought nearly twice as many EVs in Q1 2022 as they did in Q1 of 2021. EVs, for the very first time, made up 5% of all car sales in the US over the quarter. And despite the long list of compelling new EVs coming to market, Tesla is still the dominant leader. 75% of all EVs sold in Q1 was Teslas. The competition is nowhere close to Tesla sales in the US. The Tesla Model 3 is leading the ball with 48,000 units sold, and the first non-Tesla was the Ford Mach-E with less than 7,000 units sold in Q1. But the same as they did in Q1 of 2021. So even though Ford is talking about doubling and tripling their EV production and scaling up, they have not really grown their EV sales in a whole year. How is that even possible in a market that has just doubled since last year? Tesla's US sale grew from 66,000 units in Q1 of 2021 to 110,000 units in Q1 of 2022. So Tesla grew with 44,000 units. So Tesla's growth is over 6 times higher than all of the EVs Ford sold in Q1. Just their growth. Or 88 times higher than what GM sold. Yeah, both Ford and GM has a long way to go to even have earned the right to call themselves competition to Tesla, let alone call themselves leaders in the EV market. With no growth from both of the companies in a whole year in the EV sales, when the market has more than doubled. With that kind of slow-moving competition in the US, I kind of think Tesla will keep a very high market share in the US because they are just growing much faster than the so-called competition. How will Ford and GM ever get to their target of 2 million in 2026 or 2025? Or Ford's target of 600,000 in 2023, just next year, when they just delivered less than 7,000 in a whole quarter? Yeah, I have a hard time seeing this happen. They are still here in 2022, mostly talk. But let's see if we can get a total transformation of Ford and GM through this year, and especially next year, because they kinda have to if they expect to be alive in 2025. And in the world's biggest car market, China, the story is almost the same. So even though the electric car market in the US is only about 5% market share, well, in China and Europe, which makes up about 60% of the entire world's vehicle sales, the electric car market is growing very, very fast. But in China, legacy automakers are hardly represented. The plug-in market was 26%, so a quarter of the whole car market is now plug-ins, and BEVs had 21% market share in Q1. And if you haven't seen my video I made this week about BYD, you should definitely check that one out. But one thing I will just mention here is that BYD did actually here in Q1 2022 beat Volkswagen in BEV sales. Tesla was of course the number one with 310,000 units, but BYD came in second with 143,000 units sold, and Volkswagen came in third with 99,000 units sold. So now we officially see the first step of the Chinese coming and overtaking the old legacy automakers in the EV race. And if we look at the top 20 list in China, well, we still have the little shoebox of the Mini EV at the number one spot, but then comes Tesla with the Model Y, and the next BEV on the list is the Tesla Model 3, and then there are a lot of Chinese EVs, and then way down in the bottom at the 20th place, we find the only legacy automaker's car, the Volkswagen ID.4. So there is a lot more competition in China and the EV market is growing fast, but Tesla is still leading the way even in the biggest car market on the planet with the most competition. The ones that are not doing great is legacy automakers. And actually 25% of all Tesla's revenue in Q1 came from the Chinese sale. That grew from $3 billion in Q1 of 2021 to $4.6 billion here in 2022, up 52.8% year over year. So Tesla is growing nicely in China and leading the way despite what Gordon Johnson might want you to think. And the story continues in another place with a lot of competition in the EV market, and the EV market is growing fast. That's Europe. Europe is experiencing a really challenging time right now with the war and everything, and the latest passenger car sales data also shows that. In March, car sales decreased by 19% year over year. But according to EV volumes data, plug-in cars were up 10% year over year. More importantly, it's the second highest month result ever, but plug-in market share reached 22% in Q1, up from 13.7% in Q1 of last year. Yep, it is happening, and it's happening fast. And an important finding is that the plug-in segment is driven only by all-electric cars, BEVs, which noted a healthy growth rate of 47%, while plug-in hybrids declined by 22%. And Tesla is still the best-selling car brand by far and has the best-selling EV models by far. Just take a look at this list from Q1 by brands. Really illustrates there is Tesla and then everyone else. So China, Europe and the US stands for about 80% of the world's new car sales. And Tesla is leading the EV revolution in all of them. And this is also something to keep in mind when people talk about it will be many years before we get to 80% EV market share, because of Africa and South America has hardly begun. No, not yet, but when just China, Europe and the US has converted their new car sales to EVs, well, that will be 80% of the total car market all on its own. So even though there might be places in the world that would be late to the switch to EVs, it will not slow down the transition to 80% EVs very much, because they represent such a small amount of the new car market. Because even though, for example, Africa is a big continent and there lives a lot of people, they only represent about 1.5% of the world's new car sales. So it doesn't really matter much for the world's switch to EVs if the whole continent of Africa will be a little late to the party. We can still easily get to over 90% market share, even if we are still missing most of Africa and South America. So yes, the switch will happen very fast, and we can already see it is. I have already shown you this chart with the S-curve EV adoption and the collapse of the ICE cars in the UK, but Alex just shared another one for Sweden, and they are much further along, and here plug-in hybrids are also shown on the chart, but expectation is that they will start declining again now, as we have just seen. But BEVs will continue to rise, and they already have over 30% market share. And the plug-in market in March in Sweden was over 55%. Yes, I don't know how legacy autos, especially the European ones, can still think they will be selling a lot of ICE cars in 10, 20, 30 years from now, when we can clearly see what is happening right now. Wake up, legacy autos, wake up. And let's get our weekly update on Tesla's Gigafactories. That means handing over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Hey Lars. Well, in Shanghai, there's still nothing to see because the lockdown persists. In Berlin, however, we've got a lot of news. There was a clearing in the north that is now paved. The piling area, where we saw the stamping extension getting more groundwork, that continues with a lot more material ready to go. The roof has solar panels, quite a bunch of them, but there's a lot more room to expand, so we'll keep an eye on that. At the south of the site, the employee parking area looks like it's getting expanded. And over at the 4680 building, we can see some blocks going in to fill out the walls, along with other small improvements, and the loading docks are really taking shape. In Berlin, though, the big news is cars are being delivered. Over in Texas, we've got some exciting stuff. The East Road is now double wide. It's got a lane going in each direction. And the south end, the parking area looks like it's been expanded a bit, the loading area. Although it's just crushed concrete, so it's not quite paved, but it's still usable land. The roof, of course, has more solar panels, as you expect, but it's got a lot of space to fill, so we'll keep an eye on it. In the northeast corner, where the cathode building is going up, there's a lot of steel staged and ready to go once footings are in. The geopiering work continues, with a lot going in pretty quickly, even on days when it rains. I did want to say a quick thank you, Lars, for coming on the channel and helping my viewers understand all things EV as it pertains to Europe. In the comments, we got a lot of really great feedback. People really appreciated it, and I really appreciated it. And thank you to all you members of Slap Nation who stopped by and checked it out. You guys are the best. Back to you, Lars.
Thank you so much, Brian, for having me on. I had a blast talking with you. If you haven't seen the interview yet, you can head over to Brian's YouTube channel, My Tesla Weekend, and check it out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're over there and support Brian and the great work he does. I will leave a link to the interview down below. And thank you so much for the update, Brian. See you next week. And let's squeeze in last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. SpaceX did a historic launch from Complex 39A with the launch of the Crew 4 mission. So another 4 astronauts were successfully sent to the International Space Station by SpaceX. And Elon also tweeted, "The SpaceX Falcon team is making great progress, aiming for a 5-day launch cadence with many performance and refurb improvements." Impressive. And Tesla might get a big deal for battery materials from Indonesia, because a lot of officials from Indonesia were at the Tesla Giga Texas factory to reportedly discuss a number of topics, among them being Indonesia's nickel deposits, which would be valuable for Tesla and its battery production efforts. But as Bakri, one of the intenders from Indonesia, he wrote on Instagram, "Our goal is to convince Tesla to explore cooperation with Indonesia regarding the supply and process of nickel as a raw material for making battery cells, based on a good and sustainable ESG, environment, social and governance." So very cool to see that it is actually the Indonesian official that wants Tesla to buy more nickel, and probably want Tesla to help them make sure it's done a sustainable way, so they know Tesla will buy it. Yeah, Tesla is the one with the biggest pocket and the biggest ambitions when it comes to getting battery materials. That is why these guys are here talking to Tesla and not GM and Ford. But Tesla is not done yet. Tesla may also be interested in buying graphite from a mine in Oaxaca in Mexico, the state's economy minister said. And I guess Elon got a little impatient waiting for someone to make the real Hyperloop, because Elon tweeted, "In the coming years, Boring Company will attempt to build a working Hyperloop. From a known physics standpoint, this is the fastest possible way of getting from one city center to another destination less than 2,000 miles away. Starship is faster for long journeys." Yeah, I can't wait to see this one. And Elon also got something cooking at the Neuralink, as he tweeted, "If you've engineered or manufactured smartwatches or phones, please join Neuralink. Your skills are directly applicable." Can't wait to see more about this, because Elon has said that he might start human trials this year. And he also wrote on Twitter, "Neuralink should theoretically be able to restore almost any functionality lost due to localized brain damage from stroke or injury." Very exciting to see what Neuralink will be able to accomplish. And this guy showed us why the Tesla Model S is the best car ever for a person in a wheelchair. Elon never stopped making this car. No, it might not be able to get a ski box on top because of the Falcon Wing doors, but they are changing lives. And Volkswagen's software company, Karat, which is supposed to build the new software platform for Volkswagen's Trinity BEVs, that should be ready in 2026, but Karat might be in some trouble, because according to a German software house, they can hardly save themselves from the application they get from Karat. That sounds like people are fleeing from Karat, and that could spell trouble for Volkswagen, since they cannot make their own software. But if their main software company is having problems with software engineers sticking around, that could be disastrous for Volkswagen's new platform. And Ford recalls more than 250,000 SUVs that can roll away unexpectedly while in park. That's not good, but don't worry if it crashes into things, because they are built for tough. And if you haven't seen my latest videos about Tesla's Gigafactories, you should, where we also hear Sandy Munro loses his mind over just how good Tesla is at production. I will leave a link to that video down below. But before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Medicus, Nux, Protect Animals. Emanu, thank you for watching, members. Raduku Theodore Subanescu or something like that, and Helmut Pommer. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. You are keeping the lights on. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week. And this week's winner is Johan Miller. Johan has been a thank you for watching member of my YouTube channel for over 19 months. So thank you so much, Johan, for all your support. Please contact me on this email so I can get your address and send you your t-shirt or mug of your choice. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. And here is a video of Volkswagen's engineers trying to figure out how to get their polluting ICE cars to emit less CO2. Yes, if you're trying to cheat, it will always blow up in your face. Thank you so much for watching. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can for as little as $1 become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.